now that we have made the introductions, let's proceed with the introduction to our projects, which I think is also very important. And Bjorn, would you like to say a few things about GEM, the project in general?
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me, of course. GEM is short for Green Education in Media, and it's an Erasmus partnership, an Erasmus cooperation partnership. Many of you might not know what that is, because as a student, you usually don't hear about these things in detail, but Erasmus has a lot of programs. One program strand is the individual mobility. So if you go abroad, you can get individual funding for your stay at a partner university. But there's also a funding strand that is about getting university to cooperate and innovating teaching. And these are the cooperation projects. And GEM is such a cooperation project with 8 partners. So we have, as you already heard, so we have in Germany the Film University Babelsberg Konrad Wolf, then the Institute of Art and for Art and Innovation, and then in Finland we have Tampere University of Applied Sciences and Tampere University. We have Łódź Film School in Poland and Jagiellonian University in Krakow, also in Poland. Then we have University of Zagreb, the Academy of Dramatic Arts. We have, well, of course, the National and Kapodistrian University Athens, and we have the University of Malta. Did I miss out anything? Anyone? Hopefully not. Should have been 8. So and what the main idea about GEM was that somehow we're always well, even back then we started to talk about green producing, being more sustainable in our craft and making an impact. And then we realized we're actually still sitting in the same old concrete buildings and staring at screens. And especially these workshops are addressing this theme. How can we, especially the annual workshops, are designed to create create new spaces and methods for learning. So instead of learning about nature in concrete buildings and basement computer rooms, we go out into nature, engage in nature, learn nature. And even though we're studying and teaching in media programs, that does not mean or must not mean that we lock ourselves away into a digital world, but we want to embrace the outer world. We want to embrace nature and get inspired by nature and know if we produce impactful documentaries, or if you look for how to design and produce greener, that we really know what we are doing this for. So that is at the heart of it. And this year's themes, Listen to the Waters, is a perfect match for the place. Well, it would have been actually for the last place too, because we were at a lake in Finland, and now we're on an island in Greece. And I hope you will like the methods we've developed and refined over time, the multitude of teachers who are involved in this. And we're, even between the workshops, we're doing a lot to improve, to find new ways of learning and teaching, new methods. And yeah, we try to be more engaging teachers for you guys out there. So yeah, enjoy it.
Fantastic.
It's paid for by the European Union, and it's really fun, but sustainable and impactful fun we will have.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So after this introduction to our project, I would like to ask Katerina to introduce the specific workshop a little bit more specifically. So Katerina, please.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to say a few words about this specific workshop, which is named Listen to the Waters, Water and Biodiversity. This is the third course in a series of courses. The first one was at Dunsdorf, Germany, the Sustainable Futures Camp. The second one was last year, the Seeing the Green course, which took place at Tampere, Finland. And this is the third one, which is called Listen to the Waters, Water and Biodiversity. And it's going to take place at Evia Island in Greece. This is Evia Island, in case you haven't seen that before in the map. It's very close to the mainland. And it's actually connected to the mainland with 2 bridges. So you don't need to take a ferry to get there. It's about 1.5 hours driving distance from Athens, which is somewhere here, if you can see my cursor. And so we are going to visit Evia Island and several locations in this area, especially the central part of the island. One key location is the Evripos campus. It's our campus, the campus of the University of Athens, which is located at the Psakhna town. This is an image of the campus. And another key location is Politika Village, where our colleagues from the partner universities are going to stay there in Politika Village, which is quite close to Psakhna, but you have to go there on car or on bus. This is a picture from the hotel. So as you see, it's literally next to the sea. There is located our department, the Department of Digital Arts and Cinema at the Evripos campus. It belongs to the School of Economics and Political Science of the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens. And obviously it has 2 directions, the direction of digital arts and the direction of cinema. But we are very much interested in the how we can work together in the intersection of these 2 fields. So some of the courses that we teach in our department, among many others, are courses related to virtual reality, video art, interactive art, sound art, 3D modeling and animation, games design, programming, physical computing, and more. And many courses related to cinema, like film direction, cinematography, screenwriting, editing, post-production, history of cinema, and of course, much more. Now, a few words about the workshop itself and the pre-workshop. You probably are already familiar with the structure of the program. So we're going to have a quick look on this. The pre-workshop has 4 sessions, in the first session, shortly after this presentation, Dimitris Charitos and Alexandros Kontogeorgakopoulos are going to talk about interactive art in nature. In the second workshop next week, Nafsika Papageorgiou is going to talk about water biodiversity. And Lefteris Tsabassis and Yannis Dedes are going to talk about low energy devices and renewable energy sources for outdoor installations. In the first workshop, we're going to learn about radio technologies and the Out of Office Radio project by Adnan Hadjiselimovic and Jim Prevert, and about sound art in nature by Orestes Karamanlis. And in the last session, I'm going to talk with my colleague Haris Rizopoulos and my colleague Juliani Theona about augmented reality and geolocated art in nature and public spaces. During the workshop, the main workshop, which is going to take place the first week of June, we are going to meet on Evia Island, we will work together. This is a short, very short description about what we're going to do there. But of course, we are going to give you more details as we proceed. Of course, we are going to spend a lot of time discussing, working together on our projects. And we are going to visit some locations on Evia Island as well. We will co-create some projects. We will develop some prototypes. And in the final day before the departure, we're going to present each project. And of course, we're going to have a farewell party in the university. A few words about the theme of the workshop. The main two themes is waters and biodiversity. By waters, we refer to global water resources and aquatic ecosystems. And the theme of biodiversity, we're going to focus on species, again, that live in aquatic ecosystems, and also species that are affected by climate change. We are going to use a lot of different media methodologies. For example, sound art and radio art, augmented reality, geolocated audio walks, interactive art, performance art, audio and video capturing and processing, and much more. And of course, we will learn about how we can use sustainable technologies for artistic production. For example, low energy consumption devices, such as microcontrollers and more, or renewable energy sources, such as solar panels. Actually, in the next session, you will learn about some things about these technologies, and in the workshop here in Greece, you are going to learn more about them. How the theme is related to Evia Island. Obviously, we have a lot and different kinds of aquatic ecosystems on Evia Island. First of all, the sea, of course, because we are on an island. We have several wetlands as well, and other aquatic ecosystems like lakes, small rivers, waterfalls, and more. Also, Evia Island has been impacted severely by climate change. For example, in August of 2021, we had catastrophic wildfires. They destroyed a large part of the forest of the northern part of the island. And as a result of these wildfires, we also have post-wildfire floods that also destroyed some areas in central Evia. So this is an ideal place to critically reflect on the impact of climate change on the ecosystems, but also to have fun and have a nice time there. When we get together for the workshop, we are going to create some groups. So during the last session of the online pre-workshop, we are going to ask you, we are going to present a little bit to give you some more information about these groups and what is going to happen during the workshop in each group. So you are going to decide to give 3 preferences. What is your first preference of group, the second preference, and the third? And so we are going to arrange you in these groups, and you will going to work with other students from the other universities, as well as with tutors from all partner universities, in order to develop some small-scale projects during the days of the workshop. The 6 groups are, the first group is on interactive art in nature. The second group will focus on augmented reality walks in natural ecosystems. We have two groups on radio art, radio water, and radio fire. We have a group that will work with art for future lab, site-specific ritual theater performances. And the sixth group is water ecosystems, investigating the essence and the information that water carries. So you are going to decide which one you will prefer to work with. And so we will start working when we get all together on Evia Island. So we're looking forward to seeing you all in Greece.
Right. So I would like to ask colleagues who would want to start presenting their proposal, their project as a team.
So it's about interactive art in nature. Please free to ask questions and also to the colleagues that we work together on this project, like Bjorn and Dimitris, to join in whenever you like. So the first part is collaborate with nature, which in that case, I mean, work in nature and from nature. So I was saying work in nature and from nature. And what that means is the idea is to find materials from nature, from, I don't know, from pebbles or stones to branches left in the forest. Everything can be used as a material to develop a type of installation or a type of sculpture. In nature means that we will try to work as much as we can in nature. We will visit few locations with the team, and of course the ultimate goal is to develop something, a sketch, a draft, or a finished piece, ideally, which we will present in nature. The other piece of information that you need to know if you work with us is that the artwork has to be interactive digitally in a way. So the idea is to combine both the found objects we find around the areas that we will explore and digital technology. Site specific. So while we will travel probably by cars with Dimitris and the rest of the team to the locations, we will start looking for places or hidden locations which somehow appeal to us and make the ideal probably condition for the piece to be in dialogue with this location and be presented in that location. What I also we're having in our minds is time specific. One of the reasons I wrote this down, of course, with question mark, is because the sunset in Politica and in this part of Evia that we will spend most of our time is extremely beautiful. We can see the colors and the sun hiding behind the mountains, and we have the sea in front of us. So maybe we can develop something which works under these conditions. This is with question mark. So as I said, during our visit, we can collect materials as much as we can, scan around, take pictures and photos, record sound. We will have some audio recorders, but even with phones, we can actually do some lo-fi recordings, sketch. Everything actually is going to be part of this research. Then Tabasis introduced us to the idea of sustainable forms of energy under the forms of solar panels and wind. So we with Tabasis, we will work closely and see how we can integrate these technologies in order to leave an artwork which can get energy from the environment without the need of any batteries. Regarding the digital part, these are some of the platforms that we could use. In the university, we use widely Arduinos, the platform that you see on the bottom left. We also have a bunch of Raspberry Pis, if you're familiar with these technologies. So the team will feel free to try and do programs and develop the ideas using these technologies. And on the right side is a more sound-specific platform, which is called Board. And I will bring some, which will give us more flexibility if there is someone in the team who is keen and has the ability to work with programming language that is like Pure Data, which can easily be run on this platform. Of course, the electronic parts and some sensors. We will also be working in a room in the university that we teach interactive art. So we have some of those sensors, for example, force sensitive resistors, piezo for vibrations, flex for flexing materials, stretch for stretching materials, etc. I don't need to get into detail. Ultrasound for measuring distance, LDR for measuring light. Our microphones that can be used as more as triggers when the sound reaches a threshold to activate parts of the installation. Accelerometers, which will measure, motion in every direction. And as an output, we can generate movement. This is a bit risky. We need to make experiments because these technologies and the motors are current expensive, which means energy expensive, which means that we're not sure exactly. It's a big experiment now if this can be powered from the solar panels. We're sure that the piezo bars, the speakers can work and the servo motors. Regarding the DC and the other type of motors, this is a family of motors, we're not really sure. LED lights will be easily and LCD displays. And in my office, I also have a bunch of amplifiers and speakers, which I got from old speakers enclosures, which we can use them also as element of the sculpture, apart from their functional dimension. So we have a bunch of them, and let's see if we can do something with it. So to sum it up, yeah, we can work and do assemblages, sculptures, installations, kinetic sculptures, sound installations, light installations, and whatever it's possible. I guess you understood from the project, and I'm talking more to the students now, that this is like your project, and our role is more interacting with you, guide you, asking you questions, giving you answers, if possible, posing more questions and work together in this exploration. And I think that's really the end for me, Dimitris.
I apologize. We took a little bit more time, but I'll take a few seconds just to say that. So the idea is that we want to create a piece, an installation in nature at the end, ideally. So identify with our team a place which is intriguing you and it's interesting for you, and that fascinates you for various reasons, and then compose a kinetic or else some other composition that is interactive, and then go and install it there, and on Thursday present it to everybody there in nature. We stress that. So, and in order not to fear participating in the project, it's important if at least a couple of people who know how to use this gear and write some codes to write interactive, to author an interactive composition are in the group, but it's not necessary that everybody in the group has this knowledge. It would be difficult if none in the group has this knowledge. But just to say that some others could work with the content and only with the content, and it would be fine.
So our group, the title of the workshop for our group, it will be Augmenting Nature, AR Walks in Natural Ecosystems. So the idea is to work inside a natural environment, for example, by the beach or by the river, to create a walk inside this environment, to create a journey, and to augment this journey with some digital elements, which can be sounds, videos, 3D elements, narratives, whatever we like. A little bit in relation to what we presented in the presentation before the break. So some directions that we can follow. Of course, this all have to be discussed with the students and the rest of the tutors. So some ideas about the media and the technologies that we can use. We can create geolocated soundbox, place some sounds in specific locations. A software we can use for this is Echoes, which actually permit us to select a map of an area and to attach some sounds onto specific locations of this map. For example, here you can see the map of the campus and the area around the campus. So we can easily attach specific sounds to specific locations on this map. And then this software comes with an application for mobile devices that allows users to trigger this content and to hear the sounds when they are in the actual location where we have placed the sounds. So we can create geolocated soundbox this way. Of course, we can have other kind of augmented reality content. For example, we can use also image targets, images that trigger content, which can be videos or 3D models, etc. Some software that we can use for this purpose is Unity or Euphoria, etc., that easily permit us to put together image targets with videos or 3D models. So the viewer, again, can use a mobile phone or a tablet and trigger this content when the application detects some of the images that we use as targets. Regarding the content, there are a lot of directions that we can follow. And of course, students will decide what kind of content they want to create. One idea which resembles a little bit the last project that Iuliani showed you before is to imagine how species evolve or how new species emerge in order to adapt to new climate conditions. So we can imagine of speculative hybrid species that combine, for example, characteristics of plants and animals. And I have here some examples of artworks that follow this direction. So we can free our imagination and imagine different kinds of species. And of course, we can represent it using different media, for example, drawing or sketching. We can use photography to capture real plants or creatures and combine them with digital images. We can also use 2D to 3D conversion if we want to create 3D models out of our sketches. Of course, we can scan. We can use iPads for scanning natural elements. Here you can see some examples of items that we have scanned from nature. Here you can see a student using an iPad to scan these elements, and here you can see the results of the scanning. Of course, if you are familiar with 3D modeling, it can also be useful, but it's not necessary. We will video record and audio record content. So whatever skills you have, they are useful for this workshop because we can use photography, collage, sketching and drawing, video recording, storytelling, audio recording, 3D modeling, and of course, techniques like 3D scanning or 2D to 3D conversions. So in a nutshell, augmenting nature will be blending real locations and real information on the biodiversity and ecosystems. For example, like the information that Nafsika Papageorgiou gave us the other day during her presentation. So we can get some real information regarding the ecosystems and biodiversity and combine it with myths and speculative design and fictitious narratives and digital audiovisual content that we are going to create during the workshop. That's it more or less, and I will close with another fact, which is also a good starting point for fictitious interpretations. I just leave it as food for thought, which is a very strange phenomenon with the waters of Evripos channel in Chalkida. The Evripos Strait is this channel that separates Evia Island from the mainland, and it presents a strange phenomenon. The water changes direction of movement every 6 hours. So the waters move towards the north for 6 hours, then they remain still for a few minutes, and then the flow changes direction towards the north. So I just leave it as food for thought, this fact, but of course we can use much more information and our imagination to create narratives and content for this nature walk. Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you in Greece.
So I'm Nicole Löser, the board director of the Institute for Art and Innovation, and with Angelika we have co-founded the Art for Futures Lab that also in the last two camps were used in 2020. And this year we go a bit deeper and we want to create a site-specific water ritual theater. And the site-specific water ritual theater is a kind of transformative artistic practice to let us reconnect with the essence of water, and therefore we will create immersive sensory and collective experiences, and we explore water through all kinds of media, let's say, through movement, sound, symbol, and of course the space, because we want to really create a site-specific performance, but it is not a performance for an audience. It's rather a kind of ritual for reconnection. So we really would like with you to let things emerge and also the questions that we might have to the body of water. And by that, we are tapping then into the water's emotional, spiritual, and ecological dimensions, creating really a space for healing, reflection, and transformation.
This year, this workshop will be an immersive Art for Future Lab, facilitated by Nicole and me. And over the 4 days of the course, we will tune into the voices of water through our bodies, through stories, and through artistic creation. And together we will explore the element of water as a source of knowledge, of a source of inspiration and renewal. Each day we will be guided through a journey of sensing, imagining, and expressing. Also, it's also body work, it's also diving into our inner world, and culminating in a collective multimedia performance, as we call it, a ritual theater. And that brings our experiences then to the surface.
Yeah, and how do we do that? So these kind of relational explorations are meant to be really connecting to the source of life. And one thing is to really listen to the water's memory, but also to mythology and maybe, yeah, emerging messages. And we will do that in the first place with silent walks, but also journaling and intuitive sensing. And we might also go in this direction, what kind of myths are behind water, especially here in Greece, what kind of water gods or beings can guide us, and what does water in general want to tell us? And a very specific focus lies on the question, how can we honor and protect water in general? So it's really about this relational understanding of water as a living being that we want to focus on.
Yeah, so it's a mixture of media, land art, and performance. But it depends on the people who join and what they want and what we develop together. It's co-creating multisensory expression for sustainable futures. Also we reconnect with the myth, but we also go into the climate-related themes towards water. We use, also it is possible to use video, sound, and music. Oh, I have a fantastic playlist, by the way. AR and data storytelling, our experience from last year. It is a kind of land art. It is a kind of site-specific, nature-based installation. I hope we find a good place. We are not that much prepared as the Greek colleagues, but I'm sure we find something fantastic. It will be a performance. We can use voice, movement, a collective ritual, and we blending. And it is possible for blending artistic formats to translate water stories from inner perception to a shared experience and impact.
Yeah, and this is our current schedule, but we are quite flexible still to really see what we can do over the 4 days. The first day we call Get Wet. So it's all about arrival and opening into the element. As we know from our Greek colleagues, there will be a bus tour. We will use that and really hope that we can learn more about the local water sites, that we can have a kind of sensory connection. We might then start in the afternoon also into the myth. So kind of what gods could represent which powers of the waters. Then the second day is more about getting into the flow. And here it's how can we also move from awareness to more artistic interpretation? Because for us, it's really about, yeah, this kind of reconnection. And here we also could learn more about the water-related challenges. So I'm deep into the topic. And I'm also writing my PhD on the topic of water challenges and what artists and filmmakers could actually do about it. And this is especially here where we would like to co-create some labs, as we mentioned already, land art, media, or performance experiments. And then on Wednesday, it's all about, yeah, getting ourselves immersed and find ways for creative production. This is then really about how to bring every idea and every creation together, how we create this kind of ritual theater together. And also, yeah, the site-specific artworks. Will they be documented before? Can we channel them somehow? So it's a kind of collective co-creation of voices, bodies, spaces, and symbols. And on day 4, this is then Thursday, it's about inviting everyone, also the other groups, of course, to this final multimedia showcase, where we will use ritual, performance, land art, and documentation, sharing our experiences with the element and reflecting on what water has told us.
Who wants to join our group? Maybe it would be nice if some of the things could be brought, or we have them for our work. For instance, a white top and a white pant or skirt for a ritual performance. It would be great if all of us would wear the same color. And maybe if you have a textile marker, we can draw some graphics on it or on our bodies. It depends from the ideas who come up. We need comfortable clothes for movement. By the way, I offer each day morning yoga, and but there is no duty to go in this. It's only an invitation for all groups. Then you need a journal to reflect, for reflection and scripting, yeah, for your inner work. Who can please bring a GoPro or waterproof camera for some water-based media work, microphone or recording device for sound capture, or some cloths and fabrics for costumes or set design. And who has it, please bring some sea-themed makeup for visual storytelling, but only if you feel good with this. If you feel, yes, I would have fun to do this.
You saw my presentation last week. Hopefully everybody did. We are coming with the Out of Office Radio, which is a community art radio station which works on batteries, and we can broadcast from public space as long as we can get an internet connection. So potentially we can broadcast from anywhere, live from anywhere on the island. So, and I think we have two groups. We have one theme of water, and Adnan's going to be looking after fire. So they're loose themes, I guess. And then we will mainly work with ideas of content and recording with sound, making radio together. So we will make, we're certainly going to work towards making 1 2 hour, I think it was it 2 hour, Adnan?
On Thursday.
Sorry?
2 hours on Thursday in the evening.
Yeah, at least a 2 hour broadcast on Thursday evening, and that can be both live and recorded sound that we've made throughout the 3 or 4 days. But we will also make several small live broadcasts throughout the time together, and hopefully we'll work together as a group and also make some things on our own and things to think about and bring. We will listen to the waters, as the title is, and we will listen with hydrophones, microphones, with our thoughts, ideas about ecology and water and fire, and stuff to bring with you is, yes, sound recording stuff. We have 2 sound recorders, we have a set of microphones, we have quite a lot of equipment, we have a mixer. So we can play around and make our own radio, but bring texts, poetry, sketchbooks, things that we might like to do together. Do you have anything to add, Adnan?
Yeah, I think it's really important also to consider that this is really also an exercise in listening, which is, I think, something which making radio is quite an important skill. But I think all of us can listen, but we do tend to not listen too long anymore in our current kind of contemporary social media world. So it's also something to be considering patience within nature while trying to listen to different sounds of water and fire. Of course, for fire, we may want to touch upon the topics as wildfires, what is happening throughout the south of Europe, so to say. That could be a topic which we have been thinking of for the fire specifically. I've been documenting quite some already in 360, but this time the idea really is to focus on sound, to actually create a radio program which will broadcast in the end. As Jim said, that can be pre-recorded and live. And also, I think what we discussed is if students feel motivated, we would also do pop-up ad hoc quick live streaming sessions, live radio broadcasts. So it's kind of all about radio. And if you want to listen into some stations, we do tend to look into art radio as that project. So you're actually creating art through radio. That's kind of our take on it. I think this is more or less it. And we split up in 2 groups, one water, one fire, with the overarching topic of biodiversity.
Yeah, we might come together at different points to do things.
Totally.
That's basically it, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
So, yes, as we said before, this is about water ecosystems. And what we're thinking, so it's just a proposition, is to use some research methodologies that we marine biologists use normally to study the sea, and to give it to you to produce something different this time. So, Orestes, can you forward the slides? So the first thing is that we want to see what it's under the water, under the surface of the water. And this is a picture of how you could see with the drone I showed you in my last presentation. So you can see the water, the surface, which is like a mirror. You can see the light, maybe here not, but you can see fishes. And of course, this will be on a video, not only some camera shoots, and maybe we will have also a 360 camera. I don't know, Dimitris, maybe?
Yes, we will.
So this was the first thought that you could use these videos to describe what it's under the water. The next thing that we propose to do is to get a little bit deeper in marine biology and to study what we cannot see with our bare eyes. So we will go to the beach, and as you can see in my presentation here, I am me with some colleagues. We will collect some sediment, some sand from where the sea is, so we can swim also there. And then we will collect it in some specific buckets,
containers,
and we will bring it to the lab, where we will take out all the animals that we will have. Here you will see a photo at your left down picture, but okay, this is not a real animal. It was just for fun, but we did. And then we put these animals in water, and we see it in a stereoscope, so in a magnification, because they are too small to see any characteristics. And you can also maybe try to video record it with a webcam, which it's the next slide, and I think Orestes now can describe more.
Okay, so the idea is that we go to the beach, we get some samples. Basically, we sample these macroorganisms, and then at the same time, we can sample video and we can sample sounds, and then we see what we can do with them in the lab. So what we did is that last week, at least this is the idea, guys, we can obviously tweak it and then just do something completely different. But the idea is that we went with Nafsika inside the biology lab, and we investigated what we can actually do with her tiny little microorganisms. And then we tried to see if we can connect, let's say, a camera on the stereoscope. And it seems that some of these creatures, they're like little aliens. And we thought that maybe we can do something with that. Maybe we can combine it with different colors, or maybe we can use and create our own colors by sampling maybe sand or ground. And then we can actually colorize what we see here. And maybe we can tell a story. And what you hear now, I think that I'm actually streaming my audio, is actually the sound of the hydrophone. And if you're into sound and music, we can actually use live electronics maybe to perform this. So that's like an extended idea. We can come up maybe with a fixed media piece. I mean, like a video or something, like an installation. Or in my view, it would be even more interesting to perform this live. So I have like a minute left just to finish sharp on 7 o'clock. So the idea is that we sample tiny organisms that they live inside water. We sample the sounds. We capture the video content below and above water. We work obviously with microphones, hydrophones, and stereoscopes. These are like appropriate microscopes and cameras. And then we try somehow to transform using, I don't know, like different digital tools to create a new audiovisual content. We can work in surround as well if you're into that, and I'll be more than happy to help you jump into our surround studio and work with that. And one idea is that if we can perform this live by manipulating some elements in real time. So we would be looking at having someone to shoot, film, or people that they maybe define themselves as sound artists, or maybe people that they can work with video, like video artists, and possibly performers. But you don't need to be really trained to do this. I mean, we will just find our way as we go along. That is it. So brainstorm, the project is yours. Feel free to alter this in whatever ways you like. And this is the beach, which is closest to the university on the other side of the campus, overlooking the Aegean Sea. So we will see if we can stuck actually 7 people inside the car and see if we can, what areas we can visit. But just bear with us and see what we can do. That is all from me. I'm done.
And I guess that's it. More information on the morning of Monday when we are in Psachna, and we start at 10 o'clock. Looking forward to see you all in Psachna in a few days.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank
trip
you.
to
See you.
Greece, and see you very, very
Good
soon.
evening. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.